Magandang araw mga katuto. So welcome back sa ating YouTube channel. Kuya Mike nga pala ulit. In this video, pag-uusapan natin ang isang tao na kapatid daw ni Marcos or anak daw ng ating dating Pangulong Ferdinand Edralin Marcos Sr. So dito sa video na mapapanood nyo, meron siyang confession na ginawa at mga paliwanag at mga istorya na siya ay connected nga sa ating unang Pangulong, dating Pangulong Ferdinand Edralin Marcos Sr. So ngayon mga katuto, ipapakita ko sa inyo yon at gagawa din tayo ng konting reaction dito sa confession nga ng isa pang anak daw ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Sr. Pero bago yan, kung napabisita ka lang sa ating channel, pakihit mo naman yung subscribe button at ang like button, pati na rin ang notification bell button para ma-update kita sa mga susunod na videos ko kagaya nito at ma-recommend din itong video na to ni YouTube sa iba pang mga tao kung gusto mo ng mga ganitong klase ng content. Bago natin pag-usapan lahat ng yan, mag-intro muna tayo. So ito na nga mga katuto, i-play na natin yung video. So may disclaimer. The information provided by the speaker on this video is the general information only. All information is provided in good faith. However, we make no representation or warranty of any kind expressed or implied regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, readability, and etc.
Friends, fellow Filipino ladies and gentlemen, I am Maria Aurora Busoy Marcos, Filipino of legal age, single, and a resident
Maria Aurora
of
Busoy Marcos.
Tarlac City. Ako po ang anak ng dating Pangulong Ferdinand Edralin Marcos, kay Doña Elizabeth Busoy ng Sablan, Benguet. That my grandfather married to the Princess of Igorot. They own more than half of Sablan, and that their union resulted to the birth of Elizabeth Busoy, my mother. My grandfather is the first degree cousin of Doña Josepa Edralin Marcos. Therefore, my mother is the second degree cousin of my father, the greatest president of the Philippines, the late Ferdinand Edralin Marcos. The reason why they were not allowed to get married. They parted ways. My father opted to marry without a choice. Imelda Romualdes E. before I was born, and my mother did the same, marrying Mr. Gerardo de Rosario, the first degree cousin of our Foreign Affairs Secretary. After I was born, my mother brought me to the family of Ramos of Guagua, Pampanga. At the age of 15, I was abducted by two Philippine constabulary officers and placed me inside a sack and left under the drainage canal of Santa Maria, Bulacan, and that after 5 days, I was discovered by a bayawak hunter with his dog, and they brought me to Santa Maria Hospital. The Lord was so good to me that I survived, maybe because I had a mission to fulfill. Several days has passed. My abductor had been captured, but we knew that they just followed order from their superior. 2 days after, they were found dead, having cobra snake's bite inside their prison cell. After I graduated from high school, I was sent to Brent School for college in Baguio City, and after that, I got a job in the Manila International Airport as an intelligence aviation officer, years 1975. And then I met an Iranian student who is a businessman at the same time. We got married and had 2 children, a girl and a boy. But the tragic things happened. My dear husband was ambushed and died in Quezon City in 1984. I decided to send my children to Iran for safekeeping with my in-law. I went back to the Philippines to continue my business, to support the need of my children. I became a consultant to some business mogul, prince and king of the oil exporting countries, and did exhibit where the proof is found in my file of evidence supporting my claim that I am capable of becoming a leader of our nation. My executioner discovered that I am still alive and plotted to kill me in Indonesia, but by intervention, I was able to ride in the ambassador car when the bomb exploded, which resulted in the stability of the Philippine ambassador his 2 legs were amputated. I was flown to Australia with the help of Jamalur Kiram II, while my executioner thought that I was already dead. Silently, I went back to the Philippines and do regular job doing an import-export until the year 2012. That I decide to stay in the country with my uncle interlock when I feel safe to stay. During my busy days, working most of my time outside the country, I never denounced my citizenship and continued to use my Filipino passport. I observed what is happening to our country, the movement and development, and honestly concluded that nothing good happened. The poor become poorer. My heart bleed every time. So my people, starving and suffering for lack of opportunity. I visited our hinterland to see the situation of our indigenous people, just to discover the worst situation. Admittedly, I'm a person with a strong personality and having brave heart, but seeing their situation, I cannot control the tears that flooded my eyes. For this reason, I decided to find a way in solving the starvation of our Filipino brothers by immediately calling the attention of my relatives and my blood brothers and sisters. We decided to bring in as much as possible any available funding to help our countrymen. In the year 2014, we started negotiating with the proper authorities, but it ended with nothing. We decided to bring in huge available money, but only to hear from them that it will be surrendered in our national treasury. My uncle agreed that it is not ill-gotten and that we can prove it. For the 20 years rules of President Ferdinand E. Marcos, the total budget is only 480 billion pesos. Granting without admitting that he pocketed all, it is very impossible. How can our country move and operate without money? We were able to observe during his presidency that he had more projects than the total projects done by 5 presidents after him.
Oo nga, no?
The amount offered for the welfare of our people in trillions of dollars. So how can you say that it is ill-gotten? Mayroon bang pera ang Pilipinas na ganon kalaki? But we can prove to you that it is clean money and we can justify the existence of this money. The money was the fruit of President Ferdinand E. Marcos, hard work, and the product of his brilliant mind. Having plenty of gold coming from his ancestor and summary payment of his legal services rendered to the rich Sultanate of Sulu, and some recovered gold bars considered to be Yamashita's treasures. President Ferdinand E. Marcos programmed the money and the gold bars. In the process, value ballooned to the amount beyond our understanding. Ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, the upper trillions of dollars is only part or parcel of the total amount controlled by the former president. But the saddest thing, the money intended for our people is black entry by our government. We waited for the opportunity until we heard the pronouncement of former Senator Bongbong that he will run for vice president. Knowing the information, my relative immediately flew and challenged me to run for president so that easily we can bring in the money intended for the Filipino people. At face value, my story might sound bizarre and crazy to some close ears.
Okay mga katuto, tigil muna tayo doon. So marami siyang revelation, marami siyang sinabi na sa tingin ko bago lang sa iba. Pero ito kasi na-publish na rin tong video na to is matagal-tagal na rin. So marami na rin siguro nakakaalam sa inyo kung sino tong si Maria Busoy Marcos. Okay? So noong 2016 election for Vice President, tumakbo din siya. Okay? And ngayon din for President, tumakbo din siya. Lagi niyang, 2 beses niyang sinabayan si PBBM tumakbo. Okay? Nung Vice President, noong 2016, natalo nga si PBBM. Okay? And ngayong 2022 tumakbo din siya. At kiniklaim nga niya, no, hindi natin alam kung totoo or hindi kasi may mga documents pa siyang pinapakita. So, kung nagugustuhan mo yung video, click mo naman yung like button at ang subscribe button at ang notification bell para ma-update kita sa mga susunod na update natin dito kay Maria Busoy Marcos. Okay? So marami siyang sinasabi dito at alam ko naiintindihan naman ninyo yung pagkukwento niya dahil parang binabasa niya naman yung script niya para hindi siya magkamali sa paglalahad ng istorya.
And blinded people in a system of ignorance done by traditional politics. This is the reality that the Filipino must need to know. I was adamant to accept the challenge, knowing that I don't have the 30 traditional political experience. But I have years of experience in the international and local corporate world, as well as philanthropy works, to manifest my leadership and managerial skill to justify my qualification to be the chief executive of this country. They agree how I can solve the problem of our people who are starving when the solution is on your hand. How can you afford to see them suffer? They show me the need and that they will not leave the country. If I will not accept the challenge, they ask me to choose what is more important, my family or my countrymen. In reality, I can live a simple and luxurious life abroad, enjoying the fruits of the gold and money of my late father. But I'm moved by the people's persuasion and seeing the need of my country.
Wow, no? So ngayon ko lang nalaman no, na siya pala ay mayaman talaga. Nag-i-enjoy dun sa gold and dun sa money ng kanyang kiniklaim na father niya, si Ferdinand Edralin Marcos, at sinabi niya nga kanina na ang reason kung bakit hindi nakapagpakasal yung kanyang ina at si former President Ferdinand Edralin Marcos ay dahil nga sa magpinsan silang dalawa. Okay? At ang naging dahilan kung bakit din nagpakasal itong si ating former President Edralin Marcos kay Imelda Romualdes Marcos. Okay? Yun yung dahilan. So, ito mga katuto, makikita nyo dito na well documented tong video na to. Siguro, sa tingin ko lang siguro ito ay dahil sa tatakbo siya, kaya sinasabi niya yung mga bagay na to tungkol sa mga golds, okay? Nabanggit niya din yung Sultanate of Sulu and yung money na meron ang kanyang sinasabing tatay na si Ferdinand Edralin Marcos. Okay, so i-comment nyo dyan sa comment box kung naniniwala kayo kay Maria Busoy Marcos or kung nagdadalawang isip din kayo na maniwala sa kanya. At sa tingin nyo, bakit kaya siya lumitaw sa mga ganitong panahon? Okay, bakit niya sinabayan si Bongbong Marcos na tumakbo ng Vice President noong 2016 at bakit sinabayan niya rin si Bongbong Marcos na tumakbo ng President? Okay, at makikita nyo naman yan sa mga documents na ipinakita ng COMELEC, okay? Commission on Election nitong mga nakaraang botohan.
I accept the challenge. My dear countrymen, this is my reason to seek the highest position of the land. And this is not for myself.
Yan, for President.
This is for my struggling and suffering countrymen. My mission is to uplift the living condition and raise the standard of patriotism of my dear Filipino people. This is not only for the present generation, but the generation of our children and to their children and the generations to come. I now appeal for your kind consideration on having the chance to be at service to our nation. I assure you that I am physically and mentally fit with enough support by millions of silent supporters nationwide, as well as I am equipped with the necessary machinery and backed by enough funds to do the nationwide campaign, and can give my fellow presidential candidates a good fight. Prayerfully, I'm appealing to the rightful judgment of my countrymen. This is in need of change and hope by giving me the chance to be your next leader. Be with me in a new Philippines, in a new world, from a new Marcos, with new hopes and new life. Again, I'm Maria Aurora Busoy Marcos.
Okay, so siya si Maria Aurora Busoy Marcos. So napakaganda ng sinabi niya, no? New Philippines, New World, New Marcos, no? And New Hope. Okay, at siya si Maria Aurora Busoy Marcos. So, napakaganda nung documents or yung paglalahad ng video na ito dahil nga sa ito ay ginamit din niya para sa kanyang pagtakbo sa highest position sa Philippines, which is yung presidency. Okay, so nasa inyo mga katuto kung maniniwala kayo or hindi dito kay Maria Busoy Marcos, and I encourage you to visit yung channel ni Thinking Pinoy para mapanood nyo yung pagkalkal ni Thinking Pinoy ng background dito or background nitong si Maria Busoy Marcos nga. Okay, at doon yung matututunan, doon yung makikilala kung sino pa ba talaga itong si Maria Busoy Marcos. So tapusin na natin to.
Let me be your president. This nation can be great again.
Okay, so yun na yung katapusan. Okay, yun ang kanyang pagsasalita. Maganda yung yung parang advertisement siguro to. Maganda yung kanyang panghihikayat sa mga tao. Pero yun nga, parang hindi ko siya nakita masyado nitong 2022 sa mga sa mga presidential debates. Okay? So siguro busy lang siya, hindi siya naka-attend ng mga debates ng presidential candidate. Kasi ilan lang yung presidents na parang na-highlight ng 2022 election. Tapos yung ibang mga presidents is hindi na masyadong nakita sa media, sa debate, or sa kanilang pagtakbo. No? Kaya ilan lang yung nakita natin mga katuto. At isa nga doon si Manny Pacquiao, si Lenny, si Mayor Isko, si BBM nga. Okay, at at iba pa mga katuto. So maraming salamat sa panonood mga katuto. So kung meron kang tanong, meron kang di nalilinawan dyan sa iyong isipan, paki-click mo na yung comment box at mag-start ka nang mag-comment dyan sa baba. At kung napabisita ka lang sa channel, ulitin ko, paki-hit mo naman yung subscribe button at ang like button, pati na rin ang notification bell para ma-update kita sa mga kagaya ng videos na ito na ginagawa natin dito sa channel natin. Once again, this is Kuya Mike. Peace out.